Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Slight. Today we're going to be updating or upgrading the Navi unit I had. So I had the original, I had the C6, and this one is in fact the U6, right? So very similar. It's the exact same size, essentially, a little different. I'm going to show you exactly what the differences are. Long story short, it's a quick release, so you can remove it, and it also has a GPS. With the how I had it originally, it still does have the welcome effect on this, so pretty much it's similar enough. It does have the brim here. It's not as big as the original one, but it does still have that. It's encased in it, and in the back it has this little piece here. It's metal back here, and the magnet, I already have the mount I put on, so that's a quick, easy thing. I'll show you how to do that afterwards, but mine's gonna be a little different because the gauge has been relocated, so unless you've done that to your Rebel, you're not gonna have that. So that's pretty much the unit. Again, you have the GPS, and then of course your power supply and that type of stuff versus and your cameras and stuff, and that's going to be your cables and stuff here, so we're going to move that. The cameras are slightly different. That one's going to be the front camera. The rear is right here, right? So front and rear. So that's that. It again still has the tire pressure monitor system. It's the same setup. So the jam nut as well as the TPMS. The other one has front and rear. We're going to look at that closely just to confirm which one's which. Yeah, okay, so it's A and B, so front would be A, B would be obviously your back. That's going to be your switch. So the switch itself is actually a little nicer. It fits on the handlebar a little bit better, and it's just not as clunky as the other one. I'll pair this video with the last one just to show you exactly what I'm talking about, but again, it's just a little bit cleaner. That's your GPS unit, or your power. So these things, because you have your quick release, you have the two up here, and that's going to go to the unit, but then you're going to have your front and rear cameras, so that's on one, and on the other one you're going to have the power and the control. So those are your two additional, so those are going to be different than the other one as well. Last but not least, of course, your memory card. So I'm going to set that up into the unit, putting it in at the bottom here. So I'll do that off camera, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to show you this right here. All this is pretty much a RAM mount setup. It bolts to this, and the difference is this piece here, right? So it's just a square little piece here, and that will go in with that, and all you're going to do is slide it over top, and then it's there. To take it off, obviously you would have to do the cables, but you would just lift it towards you and up. I'm going to have to set this up a little different than the one that I had before. But again, you loosen that up and you can set it to wherever you want. So maybe I'll put it up here a little bit more, and then I can do the fine tuning and stuff of that afterwards. But you have the two main cables. They're different. One's gonna have a lot more pins than the other, so you can't screw that one up. And then of course your GPS. We can tackle the GPS stuff first, because that's probably gonna be the easiest. You do kind of wanna have it like not hiding somewhere, but I don't know where I'm going to put it, to be honest. There's a lot of cable here too. Okay, so GPS, we're just going to plug it in for now so we can test it before we start hiding a bunch of things. Again, everything is the same. Let's just tighten as you turn the two together. So that's going to be your GPS. We're going to put this just down here for now, or actually we'll put it right here for now. I'm going to actually move this out of the way for a second. That way you can kind of see. So this switch here, I can put that anywhere I'd like. I'm going to try a few different areas. That's the fun part about these things. There's not really a specific way to do it. You can pretty much do anything you want. That's the unit itself, and you're going to have your pieces that go inside. Pretty much the switch. We are going to tie this all up afterwards, because there's going to be a lot of cable up here that I don't need. That at least gives me the camera assembly, or the unit up here, and then of course your switches and stuff. That's going to be your home button, call, and that looks like the back, I think. The rubber's very tight. Get one started a little bit, a couple threads in, and then squeeze it while you try and get the other one, because it is very tight. Right, so this one is going to go into the control, so it'll literally be labeled control, and they're one of those cool little ones that you go in and then you screw it in. A lot of these units actually use these now. Okay, so that's that. The other one's going to be the power, and then that's going to be plugged into the one with like a bunch of them, so like that. And then that's just going to go in like so. So again, there's going to be a lot of cable that we're going to tie up in there, and then we're going to have this up behind here. So then all of these connectors, those two connectors and the GPS is going to be back here. We're going to do the power and the rear camera at the same time because it's going to run through underneath the seat. I'm going to do the camera the same position that I had before on the other one. So the front camera, they have that. They also have two little screws if you want to actually screw it into the unit as well. It does, instead of that little white dot on the last one, it does still have the arrow, so that will tell you whereabouts it is up. And of course, you will have to loosen that to be able to turn it. But we're gonna put it in the same spot. So pretty much it's gonna go like right here. But I'm gonna put the different 3M tape there, but that's gonna be there. And then we're gonna set this up to where it's centered up, and then we'll run this cable up like the last one. And the front camera is going to be the blue. So I'm not going to set this up to the battery. I do have a Thunderbox, so I'm going to be using that. I have the cable coming through underneath to the back. Okay, so the original one I had here, I'm going to take that off, and then this one I'm going to have underneath here. I have it underneath the seat, and then I'm going to have it back here facing backwards. I'll adjust it where I need to. It looks like it's straight up and down, but we'll do all the fine tuning afterwards. It comes down through here, up underneath and down. The battery stuff, so the fuse is here. Again, it used the Thunderbox anyway, so it's irrelevant. It comes up through here, underneath the tank, in through here, and then up. So again, they're all labeled, which is nice. That's the power one. So we're gonna put that to the power. The rear camera is up here. We're going to put that to the rear camera. So again, with the Thunderbox, it needs to be started. It gives a couple seconds, then it'll do the welcome effect, right? So. There you go. But I'm going to put this all back together. I'll tie up all the harnesses and stuff like that, and then I'll show you exactly the finished product of how we have it. We're gonna fix up all this wiring and stuff, and then I'll show you that afterwards. So cables and stuff like that there. I did move the GPS up here, so there. All you have to do to remove it is take this one off, and then these two, the bottom part up, so bottom part up, and then lift up, and then you can take that right off. Last thing we need to do is the tire pressure monitors. Okay, so it's going to be hard to see, but they're just like the other ones. So there's a nut on the bottom. They come with a wrench. You're going to be using that. And then up front, there's A and B. A is the front, B is the back. And again, that is all set up already for you. So again, front and rear, once that's set up, check the pressure before you tighten everything up, because, I mean, they are a little bit of a pain in the butt to remove, but that's every single one of those type of systems. So the construction's a little bit different than the original one. It was a little easier to read. Like on this, you can literally see it just says A and it's very small. So, okay, so that is pretty much the installation of this. I will do another video on how it operates, how it runs, that type of stuff. I'm gonna give it a couple weeks before I actually throw that video out, just so then I can test it and stuff like that. Now, I did have a testing on the other one. This is very similar. It just has a little bit more features to it. Again, being able to remove it from the bike is kind of cool. Not a necessity, but another thing is I really do like this switch. It's a lot nicer. It is a lot more difficult to put on, but it does work. I do like that. Only critique I probably would say is this unit here. If that was out the back, you wouldn't see the cables. Again, I'm nitpicking at this point, but yeah. So again, it automatically hits to the ways. Again, going to exit, we'll go to the actual unit itself. You have to drive, so then you can see that, but again, that's your PSI. You can set a bunch of things and stuff. I'm gonna go through the whole features and stuff of that afterwards. I'm just gonna open up a couple things. So again, like I'm inside, so it doesn't see it right now. CarLink is your Apple CarPlay and stuff like that, your music, and again, your front and rear cameras. So front and rear camera, again, pretty cool. So we are going to shut this down. And again, with the Thunderbox, it's going to give it a couple seconds before it will actually turn off, but that will be that. So as far as installation, very similar to the other unit that I did. So this C series, this one is the U series, a little different, fairly straightforward. The camera quality is a lot better. And of course the screen and stuff, it's the same size, but it's a little nicer, crisper. The GPS is also a very nice touch. So again, I'm gonna do a review aspect of it and kind of the features and stuff on that video, but this is just the installation video. But anyways, a huge thanks to Aoocci. They did send this to me, again, full transparency. I always like to keep that, you know, true to the channel. You will see exactly everything behind the scenes as far as that goes. I'm not a shill. I do not shill for companies. If there's a company that I like, I will let you know. If it isn't, then I will let you know that as well. I mean, that's just fair to my viewer, fair to their potential customer as well. That way you're not expecting something that you're not gonna like, right? This is actually a pretty nice, easy setup, pretty straightforward. Again, review video will be linked in the description when it's released. It's going to be probably a couple weeks before that's released though. Stay tuned to that. Again, huge thanks to the Patreon supporters. You guys do help the channel out a lot. I do appreciate you guys. If you do want to support the channel, there's multiple ways you can do that. You can like and subscribe. That's a really good option. There's also the Patreon if you want to look at that, or there's a shop for gear. Again, those two links will be first in the description. I will also have the link for this unit in the description as well. If you guys do like this channel, if you like this content, give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and until next time, guys.